Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching the Electric Performance Channel, and we've got Blake Fuller here. He's going to be racing our Model 3 electric race car up Pikes Peak, and I've got some questions for him about the wheels and the tires. So first of all, Blake, I think we have some big news to let people know about here. We've got some sponsors that came forward and helped us out with the wheels and the tires. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so and it's huge. We'll start with the wheels. So Martian Wheels, which is a company that is making wheels specifically for Teslas and specifically Model 3, Model Y, they have a really great forged wheel, which is a forged alloy. It's lighter, it's stronger, and ultimately that makes the car faster and more efficient.
Yeah, you were telling me that these are lighter than the wheels we've been using in testing so far.
Significantly, yes. There's rotational inertia / mass, and then there's also unsprung weight. And those two items have a dramatic effect on vehicle handling and efficiency. And so there had been an old rule of thumb that a pound on a wheel was between 1 to, it's basically 5 pounds difference on the car or 6 pounds. It just depends on the vehicle. But relative to the Tesla, we're saving about 10 pounds per corner of the car, which is huge. So if you use the old rule of thumb, it's like 200 pounds being pulled off the chassis.
Aren't like bicycle wheels nice and light? Why aren't we using bicycle wheels on the car?
You know, it's funny. My 700C rim on my bicycle that I ride for training, the overall diameter is identical to the Model S. It just happens to be about 280 millimeters too narrow. And then there's the whole weight loading thing, like the bicycle's built for 300 pounds. The Tesla weighs just a little bit more than that.
Okay, so you're saying that the wheel wasn't strong enough. But let's say we could just up the strength. We had a little slider. We're hacking physics today, and we just up the strength. Why wouldn't you want to go for a bicycle tire? Wouldn't it be really light? You wouldn't want to make it any bigger or wider because then it would get heavier.
Yeah, so obviously that's where the tires come in. So Toyo Tires is sponsoring us, and what's nice is they have a variety of R compound tires, and that that R rating sometimes means the movie might be more interesting, but it also means the tire's definitely more interesting. The R compound is a kind of a class of tire that is extremely grippy and is made for summer use only. As a matter of fact, if you were to bring one of the tires that we're getting up to Boston, leave it out in the snow, and then go try to drive on it, it would basically damage the tire just because of the way that they're constructed for higher temperature use. So these R compound tires are ones that you can put your fingernail in. They're so sticky. When you drive down the road and they're heated up, you're actually like throwing rocks and picking up stuff because it just adheres to everything like glue. From the width standpoint, there is a trade-off and there is a design exercise of how much you want to have as rotational drag and or aerodynamic drag by having too wide of a wheel. There's also times when having too wide in snow or water can be a problem with regards to the contact patch, but ultimately in dry weather, pretty much the more rubber you can put on the road, as long as you have the acceleration force and the braking capability to utilize that amount of rubber, then you're typically going to go faster. So the tires that we're looking to use are going to be anywhere between about a 10-inch wide tire up to about 11 inches. So for those in Europe, it's 255 millimeters up to about 305 millimeters in section width. There are different tread patterns that we'll be testing, and new to Pikes Peak this year that's a requirement is every team must have a rain set of tires. And the reason being is safety, because almost every year at some point it rains. And so we have to have a rain set, which fortunately Toyo has a great rain tire, which is the RA1 that we're going to use for the event.
So there's so many different aspects, and they're all trade-offs of each other, because basically you can't have a tire that's both very wide for cornering and acceleration and also very narrow for weight and for efficiency. You're always losing no matter what you do.
But that leads me to this question, which is that there's a whole bunch of different tire compounds that Toyo offers and that you're testing right now. How do they give you advantages on the mountain?
Yeah, so if you were to take the exact same tread design, tire size, all things being equal, and you have a softer compound, then that weight that's being pressed down onto it, then all of the irregularities on this, a road surface. I mean, if we look at even a desktop on a molecular level, it's like all these little ridges, right? And the more that it's able to conform or deform into that and create that grip among all of those little pebbles to cracks in the road, that softer compound helps adhere. It also allows for something that's called tire slip angle, which we're not going to get into a long discussion about that, but it allows for the tire to squirm a little bit, because tires actually have almost a sweet spot between rolling freely and gripping to a point that is too much grip to where they start to actually judder or slip away and you slide. So the part of that engineering design of what these tire companies have to be thinking about is how to make a tire that's fast but also predictable. I mean, at Pikes Peak, there's huge consequences, and part of what Toyo's done a great job with their line of tires that I love is they've developed a tire that is fast, but it's also consistent, and it is very communicative of what it's telling the driver. Because I've driven some really, really fast tires that will put down a lap time equal to the Toyos, but the challenge is that over a wide range of temperatures, you may completely lose that feeling of, is the tire up at its maximum grip, or is it just about to wash out from underneath you? And that's the simplest way of putting it, is wash out. But communication from tires is really, really important as well.
Wow. So much science. So
I know,
cool.
a lot of physics behind
I didn't
this.
realize we could learn so much engineering and science from racing. This is really cool. Thank you so much, Blake. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching Electric Performance. Please subscribe, share, and hit the like button.